Come on, guys. Come on in. Here today. Granny usually jokes and keys and does commentary on others and things like that, trying to teach learning lessons. But today, Granny wants to teach you. Excuse Granny's outfit. I just pulled it out of the bag under the bed. Granny has clothes for days. Clothes beyond clothes. Granny has a lot of brand name clothes, a lot of everything. I don't know. I've tried to do a couple run throughs with you before on Granny's shopping habits. Granny buys what she wants when she wants. But let's get to the serious thing we're talking about. This just a little throw around outfit pulled from under the bed in the bag. All right, this is what Granny wants to talk about today: interracial breeding. And the reason I want to talk about it, I've done several videos on this before, but now there is a gentleman that has adopted a African American child, and now there's all this hoorah about it. And I'm not even going to get into that situation. I'm going to speak of my own situation on something I can speak of from knowledge myself. All right, guys. So, in my situation, my father is Caucasian. He's only Caucasian blood between my parents. My mother has no Caucasian in her whatsoever, not a drop. We've done DNA testing because we have a sibling out here that we're looking for. So we've done DNA testing, me and a couple of my siblings. So we have a variety of DNA results, and they all pretty much match up the same. The percentages are the same, and it just is what it is because we have the same parents, all except for the sibling we're looking for has a different father. So, with that being said, in our DNA, we have African, Sub-Saharan African, East Asian, Arabic. I mean, the line, just European. You would be surprised what is in there. That's why I always tell people, take a DNA test. You think you're one race. I'm here to tell you, you're not. You're not. Way before your time, there was some type of interracial breeding, and especially back in the slavery days. And I'm going to say this, back in those days, there were some African American children, biracial children that were mixed with African, black, or mixed with whatever race. And some of those children were passed along as Caucasian. And, that's kind of just what it was. My grandfather, on my father's side, my father is a Caucasian man. And if you look at his father, you're like, he has extremely kinky hair. He has I'm talking about like a 4C hair. Not a not a not a B, not a, it's and to say a C would be kind of pushing it a little bit. I'm gonna say this: when we're biracial and we're born between parents of different nationalities, races, ethnicities, whatever you want to consider it, whatever you want to call it, unless you are raised around those other ethnicities, you will truly never fit in with any of your counterparts. And do I know this for a fact? Yes, I do. Here I am as a multiracial woman, very multiracial woman, and yet till this day, at the age I'm at the grandmotherly age I'm at, I've never had one of those races say, hey, you come over here with us. I'm going to give YouTube an example alone. I have to erase some of my comments because I have elderly people on my page. And you would be surprised the racial comments that I endure on here. And these are from grown women. And they're from grown black women. I'm going to say this, they're from grown black women. Because my skin's light, I'll hear things like, you look like an old sea head. What? An old white sea head. What? Do you even know me like that? Do you know I'm a woman that's out there in the community, far from a sea head? Do you know me like that? Do you know me like that? But once again, from the black community, these are the racial comments and slurs that are made on a constant daily. Why should I, especially now, let me say I'm doing commentary on another black YouTuber. Oh, you're just a white, and there's not nice words coming behind it. And I'm sitting there thinking when I read these comments, I'm like, do you know I'm black? And I'll sit there and sometimes I'll go and look at these people's pictures. I'm like, my kids are more ethnic and black than you are. What? What? Out of my whole family, do you know I'm the only one that came out this light? Do you know I'm like the only one that has the white parent out of a tribe of colored people, and all my cousins, they're all black like you. You know, I hate to be the one to tell you, but they're all black like you. I don't want to call the ghetto black. My children are black like you, but because I'm not perceived, you don't see the. I mean, as if you don't see a little wider nose. You don't see that these eyes. These aren't Caucasian eyes. You see what I'm saying? This hair, even though it's nice, this isn't all the way Caucasian hair. The skin, as light as I am, you do realize I have a different. You put Becky right next to us. Me and Becky, there's a difference. There's a difference. If you give me 10 Beckys, if you can't see the difference, you are a blind idiot. I'm just saying that, but that goes to show it'd be your own kind. Now, I've been amongst Hispanics, I've been amongst Asians, I've been amongst Caucasians, I've been amongst African Americans. I'm in the African American community all day, every day. The only time I'm black or I'm white or I'm this or that is when it's, what's the word I want to say? Convenient for them. Let's say I'm with a coworker and they're like, "Oh yeah, her, she's Puerto Rican, but she doesn't speak Spanish." No, and I have very little Puerto Rican in me. But then it's all right that I'm one of you. I'm one of you because it's a convenience. Or, oh yeah, when I was growing up, yeah, that's Bobby's daughter, and she looks like that because his mom married a. I mean, his dad married a. There's always a reasoning. There's always. This is the untold story. Let me get to it because you guys don't understand. Being biracial, there's always a reason. There's always a story. There's always a. Let me explain why. Um, this is like this because of this. And it's always underspoken. It's always underdone. It's always ignored. It's always. The four of you women sitting there right now. And let's say if I was just saying random conversation and you didn't know me, yeah, black people, or I said the N word or the spick word or whatever I said, you guys would be on me with the racial comments, not knowing that I'm one of you. I raise black children just like you. I do black things just like you. I'm black just like you. Why? Because I'm different. But when we're growing up, back to us now, when we're growing up, we're biracial. We don't fit in circles. We don't fit in our black community. We don't fit in our Asian community. We don't fit in our Caucasian community. As much as you say you accept us, you don't accept us. You don't accept us. You pretend you accept us. How can This is why I'm against biracial breeding. Sometimes, and every situation is different, but sometimes when you get into the biracial breeding, sometimes the families separate. There's a lot of scenarios behind biracial breeding. How can you explain, especially when there's multi races involved? Most people is usually just two or something like that. But in my situation, It's multi. Only my dad is Caucasian, so we are not. All my children, each one of them look a different race. You know, just like me and my siblings, we all look a different race. But this is my thing. How can you have biracial children when those children grow up and they don't have their own pod? You guys all have your own circles, your own people, your own groups, your own. We're never going to be able to be put in those groups. We're never going to fully fit in those groups because we're not part of that group. As much as you say we are, we're not, and we know we're not. And you let us know on a daily basis that we're not. It doesn't have to be through your words, it's through your actions. It's shown through many things. And it becomes unfair for us children because we grow up and as much as say, yeah, I feel like I'm you, I feel like I'm you, I feel like I'm you. I know deep down inside I am part of you. As much as I think as I'm accepted, I'm not. I'm not. I can't quite express this. It's something I can't. My words will never do this justice. A lifetime of it. At the age I am, I'll give you another example. At the age I am, the majority of racial comments that have been said to me have been by African Americans. I have African Americans argue with me on a daily. You're not black. Oh, you're not black. You're not black. You don't know what you are. You don't know who your daddy is. You're stupid. You're white. You're white. You're white. Now the black community acts like being white is like a lesser of. You know, whatever happened in slavery days, whatever it is, you know, my people were there too. My people were there too. My dad didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I get this harsh, you know, like how white people look down, Caucasian people look down on the blacks. It's like the blacks are looking down on the Caucasians. You know, how am I lesser than when I'm one of you? What, because my dad is Caucasian, I'm lesser than because I'm not 100% one of you? The things that come out of your guys' mouth is mind-boggling. Like, how are you going to sit there and argue with me? Do you even know when the world is all said and done, there's not going to be a pure race of people. There will be very few pure race people. There will be nothing but interbreeding, intermixing with other races. We're all going to end up kind of one color bracket, skin tone when it's all said and done with. Are we understanding? You know, I understand that there's a lot of hurt and things, you know, due to whatever and whatever and whatever. But this is a new day. This is a new day, and you guys want to run off, get in love, have these babies, but you don't think about these what ifs. These what ifs are always going to be what ifs till we're all mixed people, till we're all 100% mixed people. So you're not thinking, oh yeah, I love this man, I love this lady, we're gonna have this beautiful baby, you're gonna have a baby, you can't take care of their hair, their skin's a little different. I mean, it's just their culture, their food, their languages, it's just more to it. It's more to it. It's about being part of something that you weren't raised around. You don't feel like you're never enough. I'm never enough white. I'm never enough black. I'm never enough Asian. I'm never enough. I'm never enough. I'm never enough. I mean, it's just the reality of what it is. And it's not because I feel like this. It's because all you other races make all of us biracial people feel like this. I see it all the time. I'll go to somebody's house. They'll have a little mixed grandchild or a mixed son, mixed daughter. And there's always a little funny, goofy name for him, Snowball or White Boy. Why? Why? It's obvious we can all tell that child's different. Like, why do you have to put that? You know, you guys think that them little nicknames are cute and all that. That ain't cute. That ain't cute. You can't make me another nickname up. It has to be a racially divided nickname to point out the fact that I'm different. Like the world can't see I'm different. It's weird. It's like we act like we accept it, but do we really accept it? How do you really accept it when it's talked about in your house constantly? You know, I'm in the community. I'm in the community with all these children. You think they're all just black? They're not. They're not. And now I'm running into a lot of biracial children. And I'm telling you, when I go into these children's homes, the things I hear said from the grandmothers, the uncles, the aunts, and this is not something that just a black person can say or a white person can say, yeah, I feel, no, you didn't feel that. You didn't hear that. You weren't introduced to that. But these are the things that are really being done as minute and ignorant and stupid as it sounds to you. It's not minute, ignorant, or none of that to us. It's not stupid to us. We secretly hate it. We secretly hate it. It's kind of foolish. It's like you have to point out, like people can't see with their own eyes that we're a little different. You know, this is my thing. I think when you go to mix interracially, I think there should be some type of qualification. I really do, and I know that'll never be, but there should be, because can you teach that child to be who they are? You got that child being who you are. Let's say once again, you know, my dad Caucasian, my mother certain color. They're each raising me to be who they are, but can they raise me to be the other person? They can't. They can't. How can let's say something were to happen to my mother, and I would have been raised by my father. Can he teach me how to be everything my mother was? How? How's he gonna do it? Can my mother? And, you know, I've heard even racial comments by my mother about Caucasian people, and here she is with a Caucasian man. My mother thinks, and I probably shouldn't say this out loud. My mother thinks, you know, Caucasian is a defect, if you will, a gene defect. And not because anything's wrong or nothing like that, just because some of the health issues and the things you're prone to being Caucasian. You know, and it doesn't happen in our lifestyle. Just like, what's another thing? Sickle cell doesn't happen for Caucasians. It happens for ethnic people. Skin C word. You know, not saying it doesn't happen to African people or people with melanin, but it happens to Caucasian people a lot more. So, you know, like I said, I've there are conversations had, there are things said, there's always going to be direction that you're not, or this is different, or that's different, and we get so sick of hearing it, and we're like, well, why did you interbreed if this is something we're going to be talking about the rest of our life, or something I'm going to have to talk about with others the rest of my life? Like, here I am just feeling like a human being, going to work, working with the children, doing whatever. But I'm getting pointed out by my community, my peers, my age group, that I'm different from them every single day. That I don't know. That's weird. There definitely has to be. I don't know. It just becomes so unfair. It becomes still so unfair. Ain't even the proper word. It. My words will never do it justice. Ever, 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 ever. Ever. But think about who you have babies by before you have them. Think about the things that children are going to have to go through. Just think about it.